urns, and an adult xenomorph. And this is assuming that all of you make it back to Earth in one piece. Of course, androids don't have to eat, they don't have to drink, and apparently the xenomorph doesn't acknowledge them as humans, so they don't really have to worry about being attacked by it. So I think Lucas and Ava are probably, well, you guys are in hypo or cryo sleep, so you should be okay, right? Joel, you don't look happy.
I feel so betrayed.
I'm floored. I mean, I'm not upset by any means. I did what I had to do. I've got my money to get to my brother. I got more than enough that I thought that I would ever get in my lifetime. So I'm helping my brother out who's in the hospital. It's going to help my family for decades and decades. My objective and my agenda, I'm A-okay. I'm good.
So when I said I hadn't talked to any of you and didn't know what your plans were, that wasn't exactly true.
Yeah, I knew it.
Because Bryce and I have been having conversations about, after last week in particular, it's like, so Joel's gone rogue, Joel's going to get in that escape pod and leave. What are you going to do? Like, what are we, how are we going to make this happen? And, but yeah,
I had three plans set up. I had three. So I was like, I gotta do anything at this point.
Yeah, this has literally been a long game. Bryce, when we were sitting in the green room on a Sunday morning, I told Bryce what was going to happen before we even started all of this. Bryce was already the Lucas character. This has been going in the background the entire time. And when I told you guys that the text game that I ran, only one player survived, the Lucas character survived and saved, oddly enough, saved Cham. He put Cham into hypersleep, and him and Ava took the escape pod and blew up the ship from a distance. Blew up the Cronus from a distance. But again, as I said, this is the 5th time I've run Chariot of the Gods, and it never plays out the same. Every time I've run it, it's been a completely different game every single time. Bryce and I were talking before we went live tonight, like, for an alien game, there was not a lot of xenomorph in here. I didn't really throw the xenomorphs at you too much, but Bryce had a good comment that the story we were telling was more about the 4 of you and the conflicts and like what you each had going on in secret and what you had going and the things you were saying and the things you were hiding, and the alien, the bad guy in this were the 4 of you, and what you were going to do and what your plans were. I've run this before where it was just constant alien attack. Like, I've just been throwing aliens at them left and right. But with this game, it didn't, like, for some reason, it didn't feel right to me. Like, I threw it in there the one time, and I was going to throw it in there tonight just because, but it didn't really present itself. Like, I could have had it jump out at you guys when you were getting into the escape pod or whatever, but that felt kind of like a cheap shot. So, but yeah, so that is our story, everybody. As I said, there's a second, it's not a continuation, it's a continuation, but not in the sense you're playing the same characters. There's a second story, a box set called Destroyer of Worlds, where you're playing Colonial Marines. You're on a planet. You're not in the ship, you're on a planet, and you're playing actual Marines that know how to fight these things, and there's a lot more combat in that one. But we're as of right now, we don't have plans to go into that. We don't have plans to extend this. For right now, this is going to be it for us. We still are planning to play X-Crawl Classics in person at some point. I want to make that happen so bad before things get too crazy going into the end of the year. I definitely want us to play that. I think we would have a blast with it. And if we can't play it in person, we should play it online. We should get together and play it the way we've been doing this. But so yeah, this was all of your first experience with Alien RPG, and for Joel, this was your first experience with RPG at all. So I will say this, and I've told Bryce, like I said, Bryce and I have been having private conversations for months now about, we've been discussing all this stuff, and I've told Bryce multiple times, for this to be your first RPG, it doesn't feel like that. You jumped in and ran with your character. You took your agenda to heart, and you straight up went with it. And a lot of the pitfalls of being a first-time player, you kind of jumped over all of those. You really, and I think you played off of Bryce and Davis and Dylan as well. Having 3 experienced players in there with you, kind of, you get the feel of it a little bit better. But what did you think? What are your thoughts of this experience?
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you for having me and being able to quote unquote pop the cherry of my RPG experience.
So you didn't have to go there.
Well, I'm just saying, if there's one way to describe it, that's the first thing that came to mind. So here we are. But this was great. The whole storytelling, the whole bit, this is really cool. I've enjoyed the mess out of this. Every time I log off for the night after discussing with y'all, I immediately go down and tell my wife what's going on and what my next plans are. I was so invested into it, that so much that when we had the situation where Rye went out, when I tell you that I was gutted and I was upset, I was truly gutted. I did not want that to happen, because I was I know I could play another character, but my devotion to the game for this character was all set in stone, and I honestly didn't think that I could just like a switch flip and go to another character. I don't think I could have done that, and if I tried to, I wouldn't have done it well at all. But the whole story, everything, the whole kit and caboodle, and I thought it was a W when you didn't bring the alien back. I thought the alien was a great distraction, but I did feel that the story was around us 4 and not us 4 against an alien. It was, or 5, excuse me.
Yeah.
Sorry. But it was great first experience, 10 out of 10. If anybody is watching and has never done something like this before, I highly recommend it.
And never trust Bryce.
If you want to join us here on the guild, you can join our Discord server right there. We love having new players come in. We have open, now that this story is over, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I still haven't come up with that. But when I do come up with what we're going to do next, it will be open call. It'll be first come, first serve. If you want to jump in, you can jump in. If you don't, you can just ignore it. But you can join us there on our Discord server. It is a good community of people who just enjoy talking about games and hanging out. We stream here on Thursday or Sunday nights. So the next at least week, if not 2 weeks, I'll be playing the Kenless solo Viking game that I kickstarted and finally have the book for. So I think we're going to get back into that for a few weeks for me to reset and figure out what I want to run next. But before we leave, I want to get Bryce and Dylan. I want to get your thoughts of, you're both 5e players. So what do you think about, this is the Year Zero engine. This is Free League's Year Zero engine, and I've long said that the stress mechanic in this game is the best thing to happen in RPGs in the last 20 years. Adding stress every time you push and then having to relieve that, and bad stuff happening if you have stress. I think that's genius. But you guys are experienced players, so what did you think of the Alien RPG?
I weirdly enough enjoyed not going through the creating a character thing. I really did do that. As much as creating a character is most of the fun for me in D&D, I think that having a preset character that you get like base stats on, and you build around base stats like personality wise. Like I went off of what, like when I think of a pilot, I think of Hal Jordan from like Green Lantern. Like he's witty, he's funny, he's only serious when he's got to be. That's what I built it off of. So I think it was fun to like not necessarily get to choose who you are or like what your personality's like. You just kind of like jump in and then work with what you have. I like that. I will say I think I like the reaction abilities a lot more than I do in D&D, because you're hit or you're not. Like your only reaction is like it's attack of opportunity. So if you leave, like that's the only reaction you have. And I think I like you have more reactions, but other than that, it's pretty good. I learned to stop trusting Bryce in my other two campaigns, even though I know in the other two campaigns I'm fine, but like well, as far as I know. And one of them I feel like something's shifting. The other one we still don't know each other that much, so like I don't know how to trust them. But it's doing pretty good. I hate that I didn't get to fight with Davis one last time. That's my biggest thing. It's like,
yeah, it's a bummer. Like I said before we started, I hate to finish a story with one player down, but it was too late to kind of switch gears and jump to something else. I hope Davis is feeling better. I hope he recovers and is able to get around tomorrow. But yeah, it is what it is. So, Bryce, what did you think of the Year Zero game engine?
It's a lot of fun. First, Fantasy Grounds makes a lot of the math part of it easier because it's all pre-programmed and stuff. But I like game modes that are simplified by just doing all D6s. Like 5e is what I know, so like I understand 5e now and like all the different dice for different things and like the bonuses and stuff. It's like it took me a little bit, but I figured it out. But I do like that a game like this, you can hop in and be like D6s, got it. 6. It tells you 6 is good, 1 is bad. That's all you need to know. I like the stress. That is I like that mechanic. That's cool because it's like, hey, you have more dice. You could succeed. But if you fail, it's way worse. And it adds more to like the roleplay side of things too. Because your character, well, not mine, but y'all's characters can actually like get stressed. Like things happen.
And adding on that, I will say my character having the reckless feat, meaning I could push twice. I'm like, I'm an adrenaline junkie anyway, so pushing is going to be the name of my game. And the fact that I was the one with those like relief like shots, I was like, that's great, because once I'm close to dying, I could just done.
Yeah, it can be a deadly game. Like I was running a Marines game, and like when you die, you roll like. There's a chart you roll on to see what happens, or at least in the Marines there is. But if you roll a 66, you roll 2d6, and if you roll a 66, there's just no coming back. That is your heart has been ripped out of your chest. There's no way to survive a 66, and
we experienced that.
And well, we weren't streaming this Marines game. I was running it privately, and dude had a grenade go off at his feet, and he rolled a 66, and like everybody was upset. Like everybody was mad at me, and it's like I didn't roll it. It wasn't my fault.
All I'm saying is I didn't get that roll, so I didn't get that roll. I should have got that roll.
I had to. Well, yeah, you didn't get that roll, did you? That may be a.
Retcon it right
Maybe a
now. Let's
Marines
run it back.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
But it's too late now anyway. We're
Yeah, I know.
past that. You should have read the rules before we started playing.
I tried. They're hard to find.
There's so many rules.
I could have shared them with you. Did I not share them with you?
They're in the.
There's a tab, but you have to read like there's so much to read. I don't think I'd have found it in
Well,
the time
yeah,
to save
it's
myself.
a book.
I do
Yeah.
have 2 questions regarding
go.
this. The first one, for the character sheets, are there multiple agendas per character, and you has just assigned a certain agenda to the character, or
No, there's like in this story, each character has an agenda for Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3.
Okay, so but there's not like a multiple of Act 1 for somebody in case
No.
you need to change the story. Okay. Secondly, oh crap, where was I going with this?
Sorry, it wasn't death. He didn't roll on a death roll. He rolled on a critical injury roll.
Ah, that's right. That's right. Because
Yeah.
that's what Joel had as critical injury.
Yeah.
Injury.
Yeah, because we had to determine how severe it was.
Oh yeah, each of and what you have to remember. This is what we've been playing is a box set. Like that's why you all had pre-generated characters and all of the story and everything is all in here. So your agendas were already set. Now, if we were to run a game where we created characters and started from scratch and we were doing our own story, as far as agendas go, like that would be between me and you. Like we
Gotcha.
would, like you would tell me what your character wants to do, and I would set that as your agenda.
Okay.
But in this case, running this set story, you had the, but yeah, I wasn't like selecting from a chart. Like you had an Act 1 agenda, an Act 2 agenda, and an Act 3 agenda. Now, Bryce,
I had 2.
Bryce was using Cham's agendas to mask all of you, and Lucas's agendas to do
Fill
what
his.
was in the background.
So,
Subscribe.
okay. So the second question was about Lucas.
Thanks,
Were-
Kevin. Thanks for the sub.
Did we know anything about a Lucas character at all at the beginning? I can't remember that far back. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So this is probably the reason why you were harping on us about not watching the movie, because there could have been knowledge if we would watch the movie.
Player knowledge.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
That's also one because Scott and I were talking when we first initially were like coming up with like we should do this, and I was like, he's like, there's a synthetic. I was like, as a person, I'm the only one who's seen the movies. This is great.
Yeah.
Now,
And see,
no-
like in that text game that I ran that was so awesome, like Lucas got damaged. He got like I think it was actually the alien like clawed his face, and he managed to hide it, and he put a bandage over it. But that was the reveal at the end when he revealed himself to Cham. He pulled the bandage off, and the white blood was draining down his face.
So the moment Davis hit
Was the very first
Cham
time. Yeah.
with the shotgun, that's when we revealed. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the reveal, because I
I
was
just-
thinking back, he hadn't got damaged once this whole time. And I think the only person who actually has in our party was you. So,
Yeah. See, that's my worry as a first-time player. Going back to that, is that like I try not to listen in on the conversations that happen. I've done it occasionally, but of course I've done everything in my power to not metagame. However, just do that. But like when I heard about the Milky White substance, like I was kind of zoned out there, and I thought Ava was just hit again from the shotgun blast or whatever. I still did not know at that time of that happening that you were revealed to be Lucas.
Yeah.
That I think that's where I failed at the very end when you had talked to it and your voice changed. It didn't even register in my mind that you were Lucas until Scott literally did the post game stuff. So that's my L for being the first time. I apologize.
And see, that was in the text game where I ran this in text format. Like I just randomly started referring to him as Lucas, and all the players were like, "Wait, what? Who's Lucas? What is he talking about?" And like I started like literally like the guy that played Lucas in that game was Riddles, the guy that did all of our merch, did the dice boxes and all that, and he is brilliant. And he literally, like, all through that story, there were things that he did, and he did it right out in the open. But he did it in such a way that nobody knew what was going on. Like, he failed the die roll. That's a bummer. No, he didn't fail a die roll. He just did it. And, like, we went back and forth with all this stuff, and it's literally one of the best parts of this story in particular is that there's this hidden character that's working against you the entire time.
Well, Bryce, way to go, because I never thought that you were working against anybody at all.
Dude, I think I may have mentioned it. My biggest worry that entire, like, every single campaign was whispering to Scott, because I was so afraid that I was gonna like do the wrong slash and just be popped up.
Speaking of that, something we meant to, we were saving until tonight on the stream. Like one of the, I can't remember how many weeks ago it was, but on the stream, I had the video, like I had the screen set up where the chat box was visible. And so there was this whole stream of him whispering me about all the stuff that Lucas is doing. And it was all right there on YouTube and on the live stream. And like the next morning I thought about it, I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. And I even messaged Bryce. I was like, listen, the chat box was on the screen the entire time. And I've changed it now where it was like the whole chat box is off screen now. But if you go back and watch the YouTube video, I can't remember how many sessions back it was, but like he was whispering me, telling me stuff he was going to do, and the stuff with Ava, all of that going on. And it was all on the live stream. It was all on YouTube. I didn't edit it out. I don't know how to do that. So it was all there. And I told them, I told Bryce, I was like, man, they're going to be so upset when they know that it was there. It was right in front of them the entire time, and they just didn't see it.
That sucks, because most of the time what I was doing is just listening back. I was never actually watching the screen.
And that's what Joel does too. Joel puts it in his headphones and listens to it while he's driving.
Yeah, I do that. As far as the YouTube.
I told Bryce, I was like, they listen to it, but they're not watching it, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, he messaged me and said, I don't think they caught it, but the chat window's in OBS. And I was like, interesting.
Dang.
Specifically, it was the one, like when he mentioned the rewiring of the pilot station.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was whispering like crazy back and forth, like I'm setting it up to where the cables are not going to connect correctly. It's going to pop. So I was messaging him stuff like that. And so,
yeah.
Like miss a space or something, then hit enter and it go in the global chat and be like, ignore that.
Yeah. I got a couple more questions, but I know that Dylan's got to get off. So,
if you got questions, shoot them at me. If Dylan needs to sign off, Dylan, do you need to sign off, or you've got a minute?
No, I'm good. I got a minute.
All right. So, Bryce, when we cleaned the air scrubbers, did you actually clean them, or did you do something that forced people to turn?
No, I couldn't.
Okay.
That was early on.
I didn't know if
that was early on, and I wanted to make sure that you guys trusted me for the long run. So there is I did help out on a couple things early.
Right, but like we would have known that Cham cleaned them, but I didn't know if that was something that you were whispering to Scott, being like, "Hey, I'm actually contaminating it."
In that case, like
that's what. And I was asking because of the suits. You kept asking about the suits.
Yeah.
If we had them on or off.
Guys cleaned the scrubbers. They were cleaned. You succeeded in that, but you didn't go all the way down to the bottom where the water was and the electrical was happening. There were eggs down there, so there were spores in the air. So as soon as you took your helmets off, you were exposed. I don't know if you remember or not, but I had you and Davis roll.
I never took mine off until I swapped suits at the very, very, like, near the halfway point.
I don't remember. Or maybe it wasn't Davis. Maybe it was Cham. If it was Cham, it doesn't matter. I had you guys roll like Constitution rolls. I don't remember what it's actually called in Alien.
Yeah.
But I had you roll or I rolled it for you actually. You didn't see it.
You did.
But you both, like a couple of you were like, "Wait, what did you just roll?" It's like, "Oh, nothing." It was I was rolling for your character to see if you were infected. Bri passed her check, so she didn't get infected. Cham failed his check, but he's an android, so it doesn't matter.
Dang.
Say, unless you made me roll mine when I took it off to take the, I think it was the napper leaf pills or whatever. Unless
Yeah.
you rolled that for me, I don't think I ever took my suit off.
But yeah, the scrubbers were clean, but there were still those eggs that were in the shower. They were down in the bottom, and so there were still spores being just dispersed across the entire ship.
Gotcha.
Oh, that
So
was-
actually, Clayton was infected. And just
So it was a
hadn't-
good thing I shot her.
Yeah,
Because if
I
she
mean,
would have
I
joined
guess
the ship,
if that helps you sleep at night, sure.
well, yeah,
um,
because if she would have joined us in the pod, she could have turned in hypersleep. Oh man, W Quasi. Oh
Yeah,
my
good
God.
job. I killed an innocent, so it's okay.
Yeah, and your best friend.
That was
Hey,
another one
Coach.
that
Thanks for joining us. We're just wrapping up. We finished our story tonight, and we're about to sign off. We're just kind of talking over our feels and making sure everybody is emotionally okay. Joel, did you have something else? You said you had a couple of questions. Did you have something else?
No, I think that's it. I guess I could direct one to Davis. What was your plan? Literally to blow up the ship? Yeah, your character seemed like a whole lot like sketch.
My plan was 100% to blow up the ship. I was never planning to go with you. The only reason I changed the plan to a timer is because Cham was going with me originally, and I wanted to make sure Cham survived.
Oh man!
with you.
Yeah, I
So
figured.
the mistake was
FYI.
Cham going with you.
The mistake was. See, and here's the other thing: if anybody else said Miller had turned, I would have shot them on sight. But the fact that me and Cham had spent so much time together, I didn't even question it.
Golly.
If your character told me Miller turned, I wouldn't have believed you. If Wilson told me Miller turned, I wouldn't have believed you. It was Cham and Cham alone.
Yeah. I wanted to do everything to help you, Davis. Like that's why I was hoping you were the moment that I shot Clayton, I was hoping that you and Cham were running toward the ship. But I think or to the
Escape.
corporate suite.
Yeah.
I was hoping that y'all were running with me because that what would have happened if y'all came in and I was trying to get y'all to come with me? What was the plan there,
So-
Bryce? Or
Yeah.
Davis?
Well, so originally Davis lied to everybody on the ship except for Cham that the explosives were already set. I hadn't set them yet. I just
Yeah.
knew somebody would try to stop me if I said they're not set yet. I didn't expect the person to stop me to be Cham, so I let that slide for him. And in
Man.
hindsight, when I was right about when I did my last turn, Scott, I didn't think about it because I forgot it was a mechanic. After I tanked Ava's shot, originally I was just gonna I didn't think about it until after the fact. My survival instinct was to run and just shoot the napalm, run away, because I forget that there is no opportunity attack in this game. So that's the only reason I did, and I didn't realize until after that there was no attack of opportunity. So if I had followed my initial instinct once I noticed it was 2 against 1, and after shooting Ava point blank and not killing her, I should have known I'm not going to survive another round against both of them. My initial reaction was to run and go yell, tell them to leave immediately. I'm about to blow the ship.
you
like,
put
I-
a fighting chance. You put like 8 to 9 damage into both of us in one turn.
You literally had Ava on one side of you, Lucas on the other, and you're fighting back. That's why I was saying that the fight is so weird because you're deflecting a shot here, you're getting hit here with punches, and it's like you're doing this number.
Hey, Dylan, just between you and me, if you had done that, that Zeno would have been waiting for you at the lockers.
I figured.
Because
I
I was
still
just waiting on a chance. Like, if there was a window for me to bring it in, I was bringing it in, but it just never presented itself. But if you had done that, if you had ran away and gotten away from the two of them, I would have thrown to Zeno either at you or at the two of them, one or the other.
What? So my initial plan, because I was thinking about that too, is if I leave, I got enemies behind me, and I'm definitely gonna have an enemy in front of me. I'm either gonna have to shoot the locker and hope I make it through, or I know our cargo's down there, which is highly explosive, so I can shoot the cargo too. So that was my backup plan that I didn't fully
when you
enact.
would have gotten there, you would have seen that the locker with the urns was open, and there was a maintenance jack on the floor, and they were gone.
The
Napalm was still there, but the urns were all gone. They're up on the bridge.
I've got one more question. This has bothered me for 3 sessions now, because it's been 3 sessions. We ended 3 sessions ago, Ava sitting in the cockpit.
Yeah. That
Not a
bothered me so
mention
bad.
of Ava was ever done until you pulled up the map in Deck C, and I saw Ava in the back.
I know.
when y'all were- and I'm like, what? Why is Ava there? Nothing has been mentioned with her.
I saw
at
that-
all.
I saw that too, and I texted Bryce to go, did you notice he put Ava down there too? And he sent me the Patrick smiley face, like the evil smile. I go, oh god, I'm about to get jumped, but I can't use this knowledge.
So was that a behind the scenes talk between you and Bryce as far as Ava was concerned?
Lucas reprogrammed Ava and had her attack Miller, and then had her, while you all split up and you left Ava there alone, she went down to the locker and used a maintenance jack to rip it open and got the urns out and brought them back up to the bridge. And then he had her meet them at the reactor. So she was there waiting when they came through the reactor.
I was supposed to say, I don't know how you knew about the urns, but I did tell you about the urns early on.
Yes, you
Yes,
did.
I did.
You did.
Golly, yeah. So, I guess that's like another like. I didn't know that we could talk about like that kind of stuff offline. I thought everything was discussed in game, kind of like.
Well, I mean,
I didn't know.
Now all of this stuff in the secret. This was just me and Bryce, like literally throwing ideas. Like, okay, what do you want to do? And Bryce would say, well, let's do this. And okay, well, she can't do that.
Well, yeah,
There were some things where he would throw an idea. I was like, well, she can't pull that off, but she could do this. And so we would play off of each other. But now any of the public knowledge stuff, you guys could have been having chats amongst yourselves. That's no harm, no foul there.
I hate that.
If one of you had gone like just a couple steps up towards the bridge, you probably would have ran into it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Because it took her a couple of trips.
That's what's so weird is I stayed on deck B the entire time. Because that's where they were at, right? Or were they on deck
But
C?
you were in the Corpo suite.
Okay.
And you
She
also
went down the junction to the lockers and brought up the things to the bridge, and then went back down and brought the second trip, and then went to the reactor.
But I wouldn't have heard a door open or anything.
No,
Because it was a big, heavy door.
you're in a spaceship. You were yards and yards away from her, dude. Like,
We acted
Was
like
I?
it was further than it was.
yeah.
Because at the point of her,
a good bit.
The
of it.
lockers were actually on a different deck. Like, if you're talking about the locker door being, like, they were on the next deck down. You definitely wouldn't have heard.
oh
that.
no, I did venture down to C and D, didn't I? Right after that. Okay, yeah.
Also, remember they old yellered the one person in the Corpo suite. We didn't hear that.
Mm-hmm.
They old
Yeah.
yellered with the shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to think these are heavy, thick metal walls and doors. Like, sounds like that's what I was saying before. If you had used a shotgun on Clayton, I might have like rolled my chance cubes to see if there was a sound of that. But being a bolt gun, there's no like gunpowder there, so it wouldn't have been a big like loud bang. So I just played it that they didn't hear you fire that.
Man, when you rolled the chance of Wilson being sus of me, I was worried. I was like, my whole plan's about to get derailed.
I just hate that Bryce played me like a fiddle, and he knew he was doing it too. He knew he was doing it too.
Yeah, I did.
We
I
spent
The
we
moment
spent-
that we split up is when his plan went into motion.
Oh
The
yeah,
moment
and you
we
guys were
split up.
split up the entire game. You guys just kept splitting each other up and leaving him in the bridge by himself.
After 3 sessions of different games with Bryce, me and Bryce for some reason have always had characters that just click. We don't know why, we don't do it on purpose. When that happened this game, I was like, okay, that's pretty good. I'm glad I'm clicking with somebody, and I hate that it was Bryce. Like
I'm really interested to see. I hope Davis watches this, and I'm really interested to see Davis's reaction in our group chat and see how he deals with this information. And again, I really wish he was here. I hate that he missed tonight, but we
I never
needed
would
to
have
wrap
thought
this up. So.
a turn of events like that would happen.
Dude,
Never
so
thought in my
cool.
life.
I can say early on, basically my goal was to get close to someone. That way I can like do things, and then if there's ever a time where I have to do something that's kind of like, why'd you do that? I've got that trust. You were first.
Me?
That's why I went with you. No, Joel was. Joel's character.
Oh.
Rod,
Yeah,
'cause
right.
the two Rex were together. And then we went through that whole situation where we repaired a bunch of stuff. We went through a couple things, and then the inoculation found, and you were just like, yoink, boom. And I was like, he just left me in the dirt. I was like, that's it. I'm going after Dylan.
Yeah, my goal from the get go was not to be friends with anybody. My goal, I didn't care who died. I'm getting off this ship. I don't care about any objective or anything. My goal is to get off the ship with money. And
Yeah.
boy howdy, that was my goal.
My last agenda was to kill anything that could be hostile from there on out. I was like, okay, so at this point, I don't care about leaving. I'm just ready to kill everything else. So, like, and I almost got away with it too, but I got double teamed.
Yep.
Sorry, buddy.
And
Okay.
so just for the people watching, the agendas that were given out to them, they were done in private. It's not like everybody knew what was happening with their personal agendas. We kept those private, and my players dealt with them how they dealt with them. And here again, one of the cool things about this game is you get XP for forwarding your personal agenda. So you get there's an incentive there for you to follow that storyline.
I very rarely
So,
did,
yeah.
which is good. To be fair, it's really easy in the first two.
XP tonight before we log off, or
Yeah, we need to do XP. I was thinking about that.
No, we're not. We're done here.
Davis?
There's no need for XP.
Davis
You
might have
all
died, but I took over Reed, so I survived. That's all that matters.
You all get 4 XP. How about that?
Yay! I'll take 4.
Okay, listen, I've got to let the other two know. Scott knows. Every single level up, I tried to put a point in manipulation and failed every single time. I was like, I'm putting it in close this. I'm putting it in med stuff. No, every time I tried manipulation and failed every single time except for the very last one.
Tonight.
And you
So-
didn't even
so-
use it.
Yeah, your roles for manipulation, was that for Cham or were you putting them on for Lucas?
The same character sheet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
His stats and all that were the same. The only thing that didn't count was panic roll.
Lucas
Wow,
also
even you rolling panic, it didn't count.
but
Dang.
And I think synthetics also have extra health because I'm sitting there at 2 and Bryce is like, "How are you almost? How are you like almost dead already?" I go, "Brother, I have 2 health."
I was like, how the heck are you at 2 health?
Yeah.
I was like, "No, I'm not at 2 health. I've always had 2 health."
That's my max.
I
Yeah.
had 5. Well, so that's even crazier. Both Abe and I had 5 HP each, and I think we both made out with 1 each.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were both severely damaged.
Davis put in some work.
If I took you down, if I shot you first, didn't worry about Ava, and shot you the second time, I think I could have made it out of there with Ava. But I had no reason to shoot you first. You didn't say you pointed your gun at me until after I already shot at Ava. I was like, that's insane.
I
I
thought
will say
right
Lucas
away,
had
but-
programmed Ava to consider any of you as hostile.
any remaining human crew member as hostile.
So technically, this is all my fault for fixing Ava.
Yes.
As soon as you like fixed up, she got to work, and I was like, Yes.
Well, we were
All right, guys.
postponing the
It
whole.
is. It's now 10:30. We've gone at absolute least an hour over our normal time. I know a couple of my guys have to get up in the morning at the crack, so we're gonna go ahead and sign off of here. I sincerely hope that the three of you and Davis. I hope the four of you have enjoyed this as much as I have. I'm really glad we sat down and did this. I really, 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 really want us to play X-Crawl Classics. I think we would have a blast with that. So whether we do it online or in person, I don't care, but I think we would have a really good time with it. I've been throwing your links up as we've been doing this and signing off. But I am, as we said at the top, I'm Guildmaster Scott. I run things here at the Random Encounters Guild. If you would like to join us, please do. We run different games and jump from system to system, and we've been running this for a while now, and there'll be something new coming up. I'm not sure what it'll be, Discworld or Space 1990. Well, it's not going to be sci-fi. I want to get ready. I want to go back to fantasy, so I don't know what we're going to run. I got to find it. But that's me. And over here we've got Joel Quasi. He runs baseball games on his channel, and he's mostly the reason a lot of people that have been coming to view this been coming to view him. So thank you for joining us there, Quasi. And then we've got Bryce and Dylan over on Band of Brothers, and Dylan has his own channel. They're Renegades, and he actually has been getting on and streaming from time to time here.
The past 2 days, actually, it was pretty good. Like I want to say, me and Bryce did a duo stream. It was one 3-hour and then one 5-hour, so about 8 hours in total.
All right. Well, again, I thank you guys for joining me. This has been a blast. I always love running Alien. It's one of my favorite RPGs. So this was and we went from Bryce and Quasi and I playing Fireteam Elite. That's what kind of prompted all of this, and so I'm glad we did that. And I would like for us to go back to playing Fireteam Elite. I'd like to play some more of that. It's been a minute since we played it, so I'm sure there's. I don't think there's been any major updates, but we could definitely go on and kill some Xenos. But
I want to play that one game where one of your teammates, one of the people in your party, gets to be the alien, the other three don't get to be. Or Predator. Is that the Predator game or is that the Alien game? There's one that
it's not. It's not Fireteam Elite.
I think it's like Dead by Daylight or one of the other ones where they added the alien.
Well, no, there's an actual game where one of them's either a predator or an alien, and the other people in your squad are like actual.
I got a dust off flamethrower, right, Scott?
Yeah. All you need is a flamethrower. That saves the day every time.
Before you sign off, Scott, I just want to say thank you for hosting this, and round of applause for Scott. Thank you for taking the time out of this and just bringing us on this adventure of what you're passionate about, and thank you for incorporating me specifically into your world. So I appreciate it. Thank you for introducing me to it.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and thanks everybody that has come over from my area to help support. Be sure to drop this man a follow. This man W streams all the way around. I'll keep you tabbed up and everything in Discord, and just thank you again. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. That may be what I run next. Kevin just commented in chat not to inflate my ego, and that's what made me think about it. Kevin and I have been working on a game, creating our own system called Chain Theory. So I may find a story and run Chain Theory just because it's time to bring that off of the back burner. But yeah, thank you for joining us, everybody. I hope you had a good time, and we will be back next Sunday night with it's only been a year since we worked on Chain Theory actively. next Sunday night we will. I will, at the very least, I'll be running Kinless. I know Kevin is planning. It looks like we're going to run Traveler, and that will be a new sci-fi game that will be every other Sunday night. I don't know what we're doing with that, if where we're at on the setup for that, but that is coming up. But until we have something else going, I'll just be running Kinless, our solo Viking game that we've had a lot of fun with. See what Einar is up to. It's been been a couple of months since we checked in with Einar, so we need to find out what's happening with him. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed it and had a great time, just like I did. And we will see you next week. So with that, say good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.